right, we are back.
There's a will.
There is a way.
That's
Definitely. So, yeah, so thank you, ladies. Thank you. I'm going to give you guys a second to, let's see if we want to do it this way. Oh, that's cute. So I'm going to give you guys a second to jump back on live with us. Let me make sure that we're live online. I like to always make sure that we can actually be on here. There we go. All right, we are live. All right, so Sharon's on with us. Hey, Sharon, thanks for jumping back on. Let me make sure that you can hear. Okay, awesome. All right, so am I on? Okay, great. Yay! So we made it. Y'all tag your friends. Whoever is not back on and was on, please share, tag them, because we're gonna have a juicy conversation tonight, and we don't want any of our sister friends to miss anything. So let me get us started and welcome everybody. Thanks again for joining us. I'm Shan Thomas. I have not been live on my page in probably a year.
Yeah.
Yes, life has been good. Business has been good. So therefore, consume with life and business. So I'm Shan Thomas. Yes, in my new deals. And this is my amazing relationship coach, friend, mentor, client. She is just amazing. For those of you who know Debrena Jackson Gandy, and those of you who are just now being introduced, you are in for a treat. I specifically asked her to come and talk to us on my page because there's so many ladies who I'm connected with, and they see me moving through the earth differently. And I have to give a lot of that credit. Yes, I did my work, but a lot of that credit for introducing me to all of this new paradigm of how to live life with ease and flow and joyful has come from my connection and under the tutelage of Miss Debrena Jackson Gandy. So I wanted to introduce you all to her. I'm not going to take up all the time. I want her to start, tell us who you are, Debrena. For those of you who know, I have about 5,000 friends on my page, so this will stay up. I want you to tell them who you are and give us your definition of juicy.
Wow. Well, first, just thank you so much. I'm so tickled that after a year of not doing a broadcast on your page, I get to be the debut. Wow, I am so honored. And anytime I can do anything with you, girl, I am a yes. So just so excited to be here introducing a new paradigm for ladies, for women, for how to move through the earth, in the earth, how to engage, relate, and be differently.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been socialized, then different than what we've been shown and what we've seen, and what our social cues have given us. And I've always been curious about life since I was a little girl. My parents had a lot of events. They were community leaders and in politics and in leadership and thought leaders in the town where I grew up. So they were always having the most interesting people come over and were taking me along to all kinds of banquets and galas and events as a little girl. And I became very curious about how come, since we all are human beings and we all have pretty much, our physical makeup is very similar. We all have a brain. How come some of us have lives that look this way and some of us have lives that look this way, meaning maybe sadness, depression, can't get things to work and click. And then over here, someone is fulfilled and satisfied in life. And you could even have siblings in the same family and still have two very divergent experiences. You could have neighbors that live on the same street, went to the same school, and their lives turn out very differently. So even in my, fifth grade mind, I started asking what accounts for the different experience in a human's life. And little did I know that those were the kind of questions that those of us in the human potential, self-development, personal development, and coaching field ask ourselves, and I was already asking myself that at age 10. So um, as I got a little older and I looked around at how most women were living their lives, I was not interested in replicating that. And that was really the impetus for my first book, Sacred Pampering Principles, and also for, you could call it the sequel, All the Joy You Can Stand. So now I'm all about, through my books, through my retreats, my live intensives, my telecourses, my signature workshops. One of the things that undergirds all of those is a new paradigm for living as a woman, and it's called the Juicy Woman Lifestyle.
Yes. So listen, I use Juicy Woman in my daily conversations, and a lot of people really want to understand, or they have a misconception of what juicy womanhood is. Can you tell us, what is a juicy woman?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to contrast a juicy woman with a drier, parched woman. And unfortunately, the current way that we are acculturated and socialized has us depleted and dry and parched, but it's the norm.
Yeah.
And in Juicy Woman University, as you know, we call it caught up in the reboot life. And we're products of a reboot lifestyle right now, 98% of us. And reboot is an acronym. It stands for ripping and running, efforting, busyness, overwhelm, and overdoing. Right? I know you're a recovering rebooer, Shan, right? So why is that the norm for so many of us? Because the conditioning is so consistent across ethnicity, across region of the country, across age. So a juicy woman has discovered a higher dimension of living, because it does require absolutely that you detox the reboot beliefs that have you behaving that way. And it requires that you elevate your thinking and your mindset to a different realm. And as a result, you move through, engage differently, relate and be differently, and show up differently in life as a woman, where you experience more joy and ease and flow and peace. So there are some principles, guiding principles, that are part of the teachings of the Juicy Woman lifestyle, which set a juicy woman apart from, let's say, a drier, parched woman. So she has some very specific commitments that her internal compass is directed towards. So one is, there is a commitment to having a clear mind. There's a commitment to having a well body, as defined by free of pain, free of disease, and free of medication, including aspirin and antacids, things that are so acceptable in our culture, but they're still medication. And a full spirit, an open heart, and forgiveness work is a very key part of having an open heart, or a heart that remains open. And managing your energy first and foremost, and your time secondarily. And we're even adding another principle for the this New Year's class of the 2020 class at Juicy Woman University. We're adding another guiding principle. So now there's going to be 6. So order is another guiding principle of a juicy woman's life. So when I say those things, you can see that our internal orientation and focus and attention is on some very different places and spaces than most women. And hence the reason for a very different experience in our lives.
For sure, for sure. Now, you mentioned a Debrena-ism, which is called reboot. And
Yes.
let me just say that when you told me about, Juicy Woman University and what we were going to do, and you started explaining what reboot looks like, I remember where I was sitting. I remember my reaction. I was just like, that is me. You have the answer to this craziness that I could not figure out how to get out of. It's like you're that hamster in the wheel. and you're running and you're running and you're running and you're not going anywhere, but you don't know how to get out. And I can just let me give a personal testimony to working with Debrena, being a part of her cohort, Juicy Woman University. It was the answer. And I share this all the time about how my godmother, who has been knowing me since I was a very, very young lady, and she used to always say that, young Shan, you're going to run out. There is no way you can keep up this pace for this long and live. You are going to run out. You're going to burn out. But I couldn't figure out how to get off that wheel. I couldn't figure out how to not be overly doing everything. I'm everything to everybody, nothing to myself. And I couldn't figure it out. And I honestly can say my life looks different. I literally have got off the hamster wheel, y'all. And yes, and life looks so much better because of it. To the point that my closest friends have noticed and have wanted some of what's like, whatever you got, whatever you drinking over there. I want some. And they're joining me on this journey because it's really just a lifestyle change, and it's really just new information and just completely shifting what we've been taught from little girls, from a young age, even to little boys. We've been taught and trained up in such a way that has us just living life unproductive is not the word. What is it?
It's insane. It's destructive. It's toxic. It's unhealthy.
Unhealthy.
And it's causing a lot of mental breakdown right now because our spirits can't take it anymore. Our bodies can't take it anymore. And our minds, bodies, and spirits have been crying out for a new paradigm for decades.
Yes.
Because in this country, we have the highest homicide rates. We have the highest homeless rates for our per capita population. We have the highest divorce rates. Every indicator that indicates stability, deep peace, joy, and fulfillment, we are at the bottom.
Yes.
But if you don't know any differently, you keep going back to the same poisonous well with your cup and putting your glass up, drinking the reboot water, and then having reboot behavior and reboot experiences. So it really requires that this is not just a behavior change.
No.
It is not just about do something differently. This is about an overhaul of the core belief that you've structured your life around and give rise to how you think, give rise to how you feel, give rise to how you respond and perceive yourself, God, life, and other people. So this is a whole new paradigm. That's why I call it the reboot matrix, because we're caught and we can't figure out, how do I get out of here? Where's the exit ramp? So it is very sticky. The tentacles of reboot are very sticky. And especially if the majority of other people, because it's the norm, are operating from it, we don't even recognize how insane and destructive it is, because we're all moving like a herd in the same direction, functioning in the same way. So you got detoxed.
Yes. Yes, completely. And listen, and my friend, she's watching right now. She was like, yeah, she can completely see the difference. But I know for a fact that my blood pressure is low. I'm joking. I say, there are just
measurable results, right? Measurable, trackable results.
Measurable, noticeable. Conversations are different, and just when things happen, when things come up, literally, I know how to stop, reflect, breathe. It's the little things, ladies. It's the little things that we have to be aware of, that we just don't know. It was one of my friends, we were having a conversation one day, and she just naturally was stressed, and she just kept sighing, and she kept sighing. And one of the things about being a part of Juicy Woman University is that it's not so much, the information is not so much for me. I can now help and transfer this information to the people who I love around me. My children's life is different. I'm able to impart the teachings and the knowledge to the people who matter the most, my friends, my sisters, my children, my clients. And it's just been a life change. Now, when you there, I don't want to share too much, but Debrena, can we talk about the levels? There are levels to this. I know there's cultural songs that talk about, get on my level. I know it's kind of old school. I don't know what's popular, but there are levels
Yeah.
to Juicy Woman University, to being a juicy woman, that we learn in Juicy Woman University. And one of the things that really, really touched my heart was, even as someone who's leading, your 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 whole thing was, I'm not even at the tip of the iceberg. I'm evolving with, we're on this journey together as we
Yeah.
call each other sisters. Can we talk about a little bit about the levels to a juicy woman?
Yeah. Well, there was two arenas where I wanted to kind of get a magnifying glass out and look much more closely at what really goes on. So one area was this juiciness concept, right? It isn't just being a juicy woman. There are 7 levels of juiciness, as we learn in Juicy Woman University, and every level has some very specific, observable, measurable ways of engaging a certain state of our mind, a certain state of our body, a certain state of our spirit, a certain state of our heart, a certain state of order or disorder. And so you can track all of those starting at level 1, all the way up that ladder to what I call embodiment. And I purposely, when I designed those levels, did not, as you said, put myself at a 7, which many people, if they were designing something, they put themselves at the top of it. And in the spirit of Juicy Woman University, which is that we always can evolve to higher and higher levels of self, that I wasn't going to put myself at the top. That means I've arrived, which I have not. And so there's 7 levels of juiciness. And we also look at this notion, as you know, of high level self-love, not just self-love, because we need to talk about love myself or I don't love myself. I have self-love or I don't. It's not just an on-off switch. There are levels of self-love. And so what we aspire to in Juicy Woman University and in the Juicy Woman lifestyle is not just having self-love, but we want to get to high-level self-love. And really, even to be eligible to be in a healthy, juicy love relationship, we need to be operating from high-level self-love. Self-love is not enough when it comes to being in a relationship with another person in the context of a love relationship. So many of us are even ineligible to be trying to be in healthy love relationships or love relationships because we're still just getting to the self-love level and we haven't even got to the high level self-love. So a high level self-loving woman engages with her body as the divine living temple that it is. So it's one thing to have the concept of your body as a divine living temple, and it's another to have your choices, your decisions, your language, what you put in your mouth, the amount of rest and hydration, who you allow in your body in terms of sex, who we allow to join with us and enter what we call our womb gate. In the Juicy Woman lifestyle is very different when you're operating from high level self-love than just self-love. Your commitment to filling your spirit, nourishing your spirit every day, and at the top of your day becomes an essential sacred practice when you are operating from high level self-love. And so those are just a couple of things. And as you know, we don't speak about the levels of juiciness in generalities. At level 7, there are 25 characteristics. So so women can locate themselves and aspire through this process of elevating to higher and higher levels. So it's just so fascinating. It is just so fascinating and so powerful. This new realm, this new world, this new model for living that the Juicy Woman lifestyle is based in. And it's really about the sacred self-care and consciousness. That's really what we work on, right? The level of our thinking and believing. changing that, transforming that, and then our lives begin to bear juicy fruit.
For sure, for sure. Now, that takes me to this next part where we have some of our JWU sis stars watching this right now. And ladies, if you can, start dropping some of the fruits of you being a part of JWU. Start talking about, is it like this one word? What do you have more of? So that for those of us, for those that are watching or listening or going to watch this on the replay, so they'll know, hey, she's got something different. Give us some testimonies in the comments as to what some of those, for me, peace, abundance, beautification, fullness of joy.
Increased financial prosperity.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes.
My business has completely changed. There's so much abundance. My relationship with myself. And let me just tell you, I can just tell you that there's such a movement now around self-care. And I know that for me, I did not know. Yeah, there's this movement.
6, and it's taken this long for it to be on our lips, talking of sacred care in our vocabulary. So powerful to see.
Right. But we have it kind of misconstrued too as to what self-care is. Self-care is not nails and, you know, manicures and pedicures and hairdos. It's not. It's really, really
grooming, by the way. That's grooming.
Grooming, but that's what they say when women, oh, you need some self-care time, so go away and get your nails done. It's so far beyond that, right? It's so much more to being in tune with the inner you. And that's if I could just impart in anything, that's the biggest the positive that I've gotten so far, is to really being in tune with who I am, what my likes and dislikes are, what my needs are, knowing when I need to sit down, when I need to rest, when I need to breathe more, when I need to surround myself with some beauty so that I'm feeding my feminine spirit.
Yes.
You know, and even having conversations with you or stopping, let me just say, stopping conversations in my presence that should not be had. That is something that has come out of this journey as well. It's really requiring more of people who are in my sphere. Just requiring something different and elevating them to match where I am and not coming down to where they are. That's been a real shift. All right.
What's also so cool is so often we are efforting, trying to get other people to change or be better. And a juicy woman activates elevation in other people, which is different than trying to make it happen. So it's one thing to say, you know, oh, I want to be able to change the atmosphere, but what does it require of a human being to be able to walk into a space and actually elevate the vibration, activate other people in the space, and cause them to manifest a better version of themselves? That is profound. That's why in the course we talk about each of us as a change agent, and we're contributing to a critical mass, right? So, and then you talk about being attuned to self. So when we're attuned, there's harmony. When we're out of tune, there's discord. And so how do we get harmonizing with self? Because then we become more magnetic. So many of us are out of tune and there's discord. Even the word is playing on musical chords, even the word chord, you know. And so how do we become more magnetic and draw to us? The feminine spirit is designed to have things move toward us and not all this chase and pursue, which is us activating more masculine approaches to manifestation. So, so that's just so awesome you use the word attuned to yourself, because most of us are out of tune. And if you could play the tune, it's crazy and funky, discordant instead of in harmony.
Exactly. And you know, that takes me to another part of the amazingness that you bring to this universe, which we all want amazing relationships, right? But from the time we were born, we're really taught how to do things backwards. And what we've learned through this process is, like you alluded to before, you're only eligible.
Say what's backward that we learn so people know what you mean.
Okay, so we've learned that that we're supposed to, well, for one, that we're supposed to be chasing and accepting of what we're being offered, or settling for what comes towards us, or being, I had a conversation with a guy today, and he was just like, I all I want to do is sleep with women. And so, yeah, that was his comment. All I want to do is sleep with women. And how do I do, I told him I don't drink and I don't smoke. And he was like, well, how do I sleep with someone like you? Well, not me per se, but he was just saying, how do you, like, asking these questions? And I was just like, wow, I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone with the conversation, because in the most sense, we're conditioned to turn that try to maneuver a conversation like that, trying to navigate from a space of, well, what do I want? What do I need? What part of me is missing so I can go and find that person who can feel that part? And what can I feel in that other person? Oh, I see how he's this or she's that. And let me go and give my goodness to this person, because now I'm going to make them a whole person. And I'm missing happiness. So so let me go and find, he's going to bring happiness to me. But
it's a deficit model.
It is. So what we're taught is, in this, I operated from this too, is, I want this, and I don't want to be alone. So let me go and find somebody. Oh, I need more joy. Oh, he's happy. So I'm going to go find this happy guy, and then he's going to bring happiness to me. Or he's missing strength and resiliency. So, okay, that's me. So let me get with him so that I can impart that. And then together you're 50%, I'm 50%, together we're 100. It's crazy.
It's false math. That's not how it works in love relationships. Half plus half equals one. It's 1 plus 1 equals 1. Spiritual math is different than worldly math. Come on, somebody.
1 plus 1 is 1. Did y'all get that?
And that's the realm a juicy woman deals in. She's not just all in the physical realm struggling. She's elevated, access some other power. Come on now.
Exactly. And I mean, literally, the conversation today, I was just like, what is going on? I didn't even understand what was happening. But that's the norm. That is the norm, and that's what's happening out here. But what we've learned is dealing with self, making sure that your whole self comes forward, is what makes you eligible for a juicy love relationship. Then you're what's the word you use, Debrena? Now you are you use the word, ladies, what's the word that you use? Like now you're ready, you're prepared to even be accepting of a relationship. You're not
eligible.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do too. You alluded when we first conversation to forgiveness, and a lot of us in this course did not understand the importance of forgiveness in the process to wholeness.
Woo! Yes, and that's why in in the course, the pathway to the juicy life, the course that we both play key parts in, forgiveness work is part of the curriculum. And also for Love Academy, the advanced course, forgiveness work is part of the curriculum, because I have not found a proxy for forgiveness work. There are 5 parts to it. In order to be comprehensive and thorough in one full process of it, there are 5 parts. And most people are not doing any but one part, and they treat it like an event.
Yeah.
And so forgiveness is a process. It is ongoing the same way. This is a vivid analogy, but you would never go poo in the toilet and flush it once every 8 years. So forgiveness is to keep us cleaned and flushed out and our heart open. It is not a one-time experience like you flush the toilet once in a year. And so when I ask folks, well, how many times have you gone through a complete forgiveness process? It's usually, I haven't at all. I've done a little of this and a little of that. And then when I poll a group, the average is that 2 out of 100 hands go up who have done any intentional forgiveness work at all. So we go into love relationships, so-called love relationships, with holes, with gaps, with wounds, and yet we want to experience what only can be co-created when 1 + 1 = 1. One whole plus one whole, not looking to be completed by another, which is our current funky love lies model. So there's a lot, when you make the shift to living life as a juicy woman, all areas of your life, right? We're not just talking about in your business. We're not just talking about with your mind, your body, your spirit. We're talking about in your spaces. We're talking about with your heart. We're talking about with your money, your friendships. This is a life transformation journey that we're talking about. This isn't just improvement.
Right. It's life changing. And I thought it's so appropriate for us to share this live. I wanted to share this live because there's so many women that I care about deeply. And I want them to impart in this journey with us. I want them to be a part of the next year. Going into a whole new decade, y'all. A whole new decade. And I get emotional when I talk about the fact that I want my girls to live in a world a lot differently than I went through. It's really sad when you think about women who don't come into themselves until they're over 40. And then there are women that are, like you said, that literally are waiting to die in relationships, just not living fully, not full of joy, and just existing on this amazing experience that we have called life on this side of the sun. And I just wanted so much more. And I know that it's changed them because I'm doing the work. And sometimes all it takes is one person to do something differently in a family, in a relationship. And for those ladies who I'm connected to that are married, if your marriage is not excited, listen, y'all, let me tell you a story. So me and Debrena were at an event, and I just so happened to, because you've been married how long? How long have you been married? 26 years. And I just so happened to ask her about, how's your husband? Like you would normally ask your friend, how's the family? I asked her, how's your husband? She went, whew, that's lovely. Okay. I mean, she shimmy. Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
No, if your relationship don't have you where you got a physical reaction when you sit down.
Woo!
Juicy in your life. You need some juicy in your life. And it's not about him. I know we've been conditioned too. Oh, he is, and he needs the counseling. He needs to fix him. No. Men will adjust when we change the way we flow. They will get in line. They will get in line. So ladies, even if you are married, if you want some more juicy in your relationship, come work on you, boo. Come join us in our next year, 2020.
Yes.
We are now taking sisters. Yes, taking registration and sisters into this familyhood of juiciness. And starting in 2020, we're going to take this journey. It's a 12-month journey, and I'll implore you to join us. It's the best investment of my life. It has changed
my goodness
life. That's the truth. Now that is the truth. This has been the best investment of my life. My life looks so different. It looks so different. And I shared last night on that even my walk with God, I had this funky idea of what it was. It was not that I wasn't close. We cool, but I had this funky notion of what it was looking like and what it looked like. And going through this process cleared some of that gunk, that regular patronage to churches and classes and courses just did not answer the questions that I had and clear some of that gunk, so that even the spiritual side, which all of it's foundational, is spiritual, even that looks so much different, and it's so much different in my life right now. So I'm thankful for that. And tell us a little bit about JWU, Miss Debrena.
Juicy Woman University. Well, you've started. You've done such an amazing job. So it is a 12-month life transformation course. It's a telecourse, which means we come together twice a month via a teleconference connection, over which amazing intimacy can be created and is created. I put this program together actually 2 years ago. We're now heading into our third year, and we expect a full class once again. But I put it together because I wanted to introduce other ready women, because not everyone is ready. Many of us are frustrated with how things are in our lives, but that does not yet mean we're ready. That's a higher level beyond just being frustrated with. And so for ready women, I wanted to put a pathway together. I wanted to put a course together that would lead them out of and detox them from the reboot lifestyle, the ripping and running, the efforting, the busyness, the overwhelm, and the overdoing that is the norm. And hence we call it the reboot matrix, because it's all around us and it's hard to find where's the door to take me out. And so we show you the door to take you out of the reboot matrix, and we take you into a new world, a new realm, a new level, higher dimension living. The course is divided up in quarters, just like a year would be if you were in a traditional university. We have guest luminaries, other amazing, juicy women that I have met in my life that I think are representatives of the juicy life. They're living the juicy life. And so we bring them on to pour into all of the awesome, as we call them, juicy stars, like stars in the sky, shining, shining brightly. And there's life work to support, the topics that we have each month. Every month has a topic and a focus. We have a private Facebook group where all kinds of cheerleading and connection and information sharing and support goes on. Each woman is matched up with a juicy buddy. So you have the collective cohort journey, and then you have the private Facebook level of the journey, which is part of the support. But then you have another star who you are assigned to also be on the journey together, linked arm in arm. There's also a sacred syllabus that every participant gets. That's kind of your guidebook and journal for the whole journey. And then periodically we have what's called Open Coaching Gym, where I am on the line for several hours in a given day, and participants can call in and get a lightning coaching session. And so that individual support is also part of Juicy Woman University, which is one of the reasons I think that the impact is great and lasting. And so, we could go on and on about the difference making the shift out of reboot into the Juicy Woman lifestyle and the sacred self-caring consciousness, the impact it has. I mean, we have stories, for people in their professions or careers, coming out of jobs where they had fear of leaving, it was familiar, they've been there for years. And because of how they learned how to bring their voice forward, and their voice is a powerful tool. And we work that muscle of voice as a powerful tool. Now when they go into another interview situation or negotiating salary, they're getting 30, 40, 50, 60% higher salary than they just left, because they have been conditioning and strengthening the power of voice. We have women that have lost, 20, 30, 40 pounds because of the new orientation to recognizing their body as a temple, making different choices of what goes in their mouths. Um, um, Changing old habits, attracting new relationships, women that had no male energy. For those who desire heterosexual relationships, they had no male energy going on, and now they got, a date a week where they had zero action for a year. Um, Women that have businesses that break through and go to a whole nother level of revenue generating and profitability. Relationships with kids, relationships with ex-husbands, relationships with current husbands, current love relationships completely elevated and transformed. Women that had no daily prayer and meditation practice. And we talk about the powerful divine balance of prayer and meditation together. And that's 360 of divine communication. And so women that were hit and miss with prayer, now they're praying and meditating daily at the top of their day and experiencing the different response of others and life to a woman who sets her keynote, her key vibrational tone at the top of her day. Life responds differently.
Yes.
And so, blood pressure coming down, heart rate coming down, cholesterol levels coming down. I mean, it's measurable and physically measurable as well. So, and then we learned this whole piece about learning how to be flow-ductive, and a new word I'll use this year, flow-etic. Flow-etic. Oh my goodness, learning how to manage our energy, not just our time. That's a new paradigm. Like, what? We're so time obsessed. So time, how many minutes? Save time, make time, waste time. We're so time obsessed. And that's why so many of us have an experience of time scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
Only 24 hours in a day, and that's based upon the Earth's rotation. We don't even set that. It is fixed. There's no 25th hour that's been found. So where you start to experience some freedom and some spaciousness and some fluidity instead of jerky, ripping and running moves, is you start to operate from a different mindset of managing your energy and what does that look like and how do I become better at that and how do I master that? And then you actually literally, as you move through your day and your life and your week, getting things accomplished and achieving, you do it in a way that honors your feminine essence, and you do it in a way that honors your energy. So many people have chronic fatigue, chronic tiredness at the end of their day. And there's no excuse for that. Most of us, we're no longer in someone's field all day from sunup to sundown, are working in very demanding factory jobs, as was the case not that many decades ago. We are usually in heated, carpeted, lit spaces. And at the end of our day, too many of us have physical tiredness because our spirits are tired that are in the bodies, and our bodies are tired. So, and manifesting all kinds of new or more prevalent diseases. So, so this way of living, this reboot way of living is not working. It is not working. And so we want to not argue for insanity. We don't want to argue for a destructive model. We want to, once if we become aware that we've been operating from a destructive model, then we want to have another option. And this is another option and another dimension. And so I haven't found, and I'm talking about deep fulfillment and satisfaction. I'm not talking about on, off, up, down, in, out, one day up, one day down. I'm talking about being able to sustain your connection to the inner joy that God put in us as part of our divine design. That's why a juicy woman isn't in, out, up, down, inconsistent, because she is committed to staying connected
Yeah.
to the joy, literally the river of joy that's been designed into our being as humans. We didn't even make it up. Our loving creator did. So this culture is about the pursuit of happiness, chasing, striving. And as a result, people feel strained and stressed.
Yes.
And so we have been taught that what you want is outside of you. And we are almost killing ourselves trying to get it. And it's a big bamboozling because, as we're told in scripture, and Juicy Woman University is based in spiritual principles that transcend time, age, generation. And if we weren't clear about how we were made, and we covered this in Juicy Woman University, because many of us are behaving like we know how we're made. So we get to be reminded that the creator, the loving creator, says to us that my joy, the source of joy, is not self, it is the creator, that my joy may remain in you. Remain means it's supposed to stay where it was originally put. Come on now, somebody. And that your joy may be full. The creator's intention is that joy stays on full. But most of us are so busy looking externally for the person that we hope will bring us happiness, for the money that we hope will bring. No, we get to learn how to connect to the joy that's been deposited in us. And that's the basis of experiencing life from a place of deep fulfillment and satisfaction, despite what circumstances and situations may be going on. Because it's not that all of a sudden no challenges happen, no death happens, no sickness happens, but the juicy woman goes into those spaces and places operating from a very different level and moving differently in it and through it.
Yes.
So yeah, so I mean, I could go on, but and there isn't anything else. Maybe because I know you're much more hip in the internet world as far as what's going on, but I am not aware of any other course like this one.
Oh no.
Okay.
There's no. And number,
Okay.
and number one,
I might sound biased, but if you
no,
say
I say that truthfully because there's a level of all of us are on this journey together. Like there's no woman left behind. In other courses, you on your own, boo. And they'll tell you, I'm gonna lead you to the water. It's up to you to drink. But the way that this works is we're not going to sail until everybody's on the boat.
yes.
So there's nobody left behind. If we need to slow this boat down so that you can catch up, we will. If we need to come and get you because you run in the wrong direction, we will. It is different in that the accountability is is real. The sisterhood is real. There's real care. There are real formidable relationships fostered through this program, lifelong relationships fostered. There's genuine care for you on this journey. This is not a program if you're just gonna think you're I'll pay my little money and I'll show up once or twice maybe, or I just won't. No, that's not acceptable. That is not integral. There's so much to this that is, it just shows you what real what people who care about you look like, and it makes you require that of others. Right. It's not okay. What I've learned the first year, it's not okay for me to lie to myself, for me to dishonor my word to me.
Yes.
And that was deep because y'all, we will go hard in the paint for everybody else. But when it comes to what we say about what we want our lives and holding ourselves to what we say to be true to who we are, that might be something that you need to tweak. And this particular course, this particular sisterhood will help you be truthful to your own word because you deserve it, right? So it's been amazing. I told y'all this is truth, God honest truth, the best thing I ever did in my life. as long as she's doing this, I'm with her. That hashtag is ours. I'm with her. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So
I love it.
I invite y'all. I wanted to share this with my community because I get so many questions. I have so many sidebar conversations about what this is and what I'm doing and how things are different. This is it. And I invite you to take a look at what we're offering for JWU for 2020. It is a new decade. Let's leave this old stuff behind us. We deserve to walk into a new paradigm differently with such joy and such ease, and just learn how to manage this craziness. And let me tell you, I just got back from the Bahamas. Things are different over there. They have no this rushing around. I paid somebody to tour me. I was like, come on. And he was like, no, ma'am. It's not what we, no, ma'am. It's like, I only got 3 hours. He was like, it's okay. It's okay. And that's really how life is supposed to be. America has us where we're really just,
Madness.
just exerting all this energy. And, even me trying to rush him was not because I wanted to rush. It was because I wanted to see all the beauty. And he was just like, it's gonna be here. We good. And it reminded me of this journey of it's okay. And so I implore you to take a look. Join us for 2020 for JWU. It will be the best investment in yourself that you can make. No, y'all, I'm Miss Entrepreneur Her. It's all about business this and business that, but this is also an investment for your business because it's an investment in you. My business looks very different.
Yes. Yes.
So, y'all, things are good.
Yeah. And so often, I look at all these wonderful business courses and mastermind groups, and that are available for people who want to start businesses, because so many people are looking to come out of corporate America, feeling dishonored, not earning what they're really worth, dealing with traffic and commute times and crazy coworkers. But so many people have holes in the self that's running the business.
Yes.
We go straight to these strategies, and here's some forms you get, and you get access to me as your coach. But it is like trying to pour wine into an old wineskin where the self has holes. Stuff will fall through. So when you do this personal transformation work, as we mentioned earlier, life
Yeah.
elevates because you go into every part of your life elevated. So your business, your parenting, everything, the water level goes up. And so it's no accident. There is a link that as Shan has become a transformed woman and elevated her thinking, that your business, the quality of your clients, the dollar amounts rolling through your bank accounts, because we talk about money in Juicy Woman University. We don't stay all vague and elusive, right? We talk about our money miracles and what we magnetized, and go get our magnetic money, our $100 Benjamins that are placeholders, movie money, that are placeholders until the real money shows up. And then people show their real handful of hundreds that they've manifested instead of the placeholder money. So we cover all the essential areas of life, and often courses only deal with one area or two. We do the full 360, and that's why I think it's so powerful. And what's so interesting, and I think this is another exceptional trend specifically for Juicy Woman University, is that consistently from year 1 to year 2 and year 2 to year 3, we're about to do year 3, 40% of the women return to do another year. That is unheard of. I would put that up against anyone that has courses out there, that 40% go on to be alumni to repeat, because it's that powerful. And the amount of growth and awareness and illumination and elevation and enlightenment and transformation that they began to get a taste of in year 1, right? Then in year 2, you can surrender fully to the process. Because, our ego can be fighting it, held accountable. What? Accountable? I need to be on time. What about my circumstances? We'll manage them so you can honor yourself. You wouldn't get your child late to ballet. You wouldn't get your son late to karate. You wouldn't get your daughter late to her game. But then here's time for you to show up and you 8 minutes late. No, not acceptable. In Juicy Mom University, learn how to keep your word to yourself.
Yeah.
So it's not for the faint-hearted. You got to be ready.
And I shared that first year, there's a part that so many of us fought. That first, I was like, I'm not doing that.
Which part?
The womb healing.
Ooh.
Woo, we fought that thing. I was like, yep, not doing that. It's real. It's real. It makes you confront stuff that you had buried and you thought wasn't affecting your life. It is. It is. And you deserve to have all of it cleared so that you can experience this whole journey in its entirety, the way you were created, and be purposeful about it.
Yeah. Well, one other piece I think that's also really groovy about the course is it's about pruning in your outer space. Because if we look at nature, when you prune a tree, temporarily it looks like there was a loss.
Right.
But really, you are removing dead things. You're removing branches that aren't producing fruit. And the next season, guess what? The tree produces more fruit than it did the previous season. So we do pruning in the course as well, early on to set the stage, right? Declutter internally, declutter externally. And that often isn't anything we address first. We just roll right into a course and, well, hold up, can we make a little space? Can we make some space out here and in here? And so the design really is quite refreshing and different.
It's different. It's what you need, when you need it, how you need it. It's never going to be the exact same because this journey for 2020, so we might have to adjust. Debrena is great with adjusting based on what the spirit is telling her, what we need. She's very spirit attuned. So I have the link. It is posted. Please take a look. If you have any questions,
tell your ladies, half the spaces are gone.
Oh yeah, it's almost full.
We're in for a few more days. We're still in early bird, but if we fill up before early bird expires, we will cut off enrollment. So don't tear it. It's a gift for the holiday.
Definitely, and it's not one of those things where I'll jump in June. It's January only. We rock the whole year together. We rock the 12 months together, and that's it. Yeah.
Because we're journeying to Juicy Land. So you get on in January and you get off in September. You don't say, hey, I'm ready now. It's May. We're like, sorry.
Yeah. Next go round, baby.
Juicy Land with us.
Hey, so thank you, sis, for joining me tonight. I appreciate you making this share with my friends. And I hope to see, I know I see a couple of y'all because you done called me and told me you registered already. So your life will look different in a year and we'll be back on here so you can have your testimony.
And your body too, right?
Oh, yes. You'll be able to move differently. Oh, Lord. You'll be able to walk into a room and stop. That song, the men all pause, everybody pauses when Debrena walks in the room.
Oh, you're done. I thought you were going to say when Shan walks in the room.
Oh, it happens to me. So for me, I have to turn it on and turn it off sometimes because it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming, girl. It's overwhelming.
Oh my gosh. Our men are so radiant starved. That is a unique spiritual gift of woman to man. And your radiance will get turned back on.
I'm telling you, when
they're so radiant starved. We've gotten So they experience the energy of a juicy woman. They almost lose their damn minds. Poor
Oh,
thing.
I'm telling you. Listen, with my new situation. Anyway, thank you, sis. I appreciate you. Thank you, ladies, for joining. I hope to see you in JWU 2020. Let's go into this new decade different, purposefully, and with love. All right, ladies.